Questions for Coach DeRuyter. We'll start with James Carpia from the Oregonian.
Tim, your safety depth certainly got pushed to the brink last week. What did you see from Brian in a positive light? And obviously they looked to exploit him a little bit there, him and Lucas, as the game went on. So some areas that can be cleaned up, whether they play the same volume of reps for you this week or even if they're just rotational capacity, just what you saw from him and where things can be improved.
Well, Brian's a guy who played receiver before, so some of the things are still new for him. But I think as he's getting game reps, he's getting more and more familiar with our package. We should get Jordan Happel back. Getting Scoop back obviously is going to help as well. Hopefully that'll happen too. So, it's going to be a little bit of a work in progress at that position. I was really impressed with Luke. He came in and had been playing scout team reps, all week and did 100% on his written test and came in and played really, really hard. So we've got to get some guys up to speed because we got another challenge again this week.
Alvaro Torres, end zoners.
Hi, Coach. You have been struggling to get off the field on third down, and Washington has a pretty high conversion rate on offense. How are you planning on attacking this strength of them, and what would you say makes them so effective in this area?
Well, they do a really good job of having manageable third downs. You look at the third down tape, and there's not a lot of third and longs in there. There's a lot more third and short and third and medium. We can do that. And you've got a very physical front, and they get into some wildcat stuff with the running backs and create an extra gap. You better have some adjustments for that. It makes it difficult. So it's going to be a challenge. It's been a challenge all year for us on third down, trying to get off the field. And, it's an emphasis. The second half, we did much better on at times, but, you've got to be able to get off the field to get drives to stop. And then when we stopped them on third down, we got to do better on fourth down.
Eric Scopel, 247 Sports.
Coach Cristobal was saying on the priority list of things to improve was just some of the stuff that took place on defense in the second quarter. I wonder if you could speak to some of the areas that maybe allowed Colorado to score those 2 touchdowns.
Well, the one drive, we get them in the second long and we give up a tunnel screen for an explosive play that, we've got guys right there at the point and we don't get them down. We've got to understand how to retrace on those plays because Washington's, going to run a bunch of screens as well in those situations. And we've just got to be able to fit that better. We had a one-on-one play that DJ was right in position and, their kid made the play, which is going to happen at times, but, you hope that it's a incomplete pass. We had a run that we didn't fit right. And so when all those things start to pile up, they start getting some momentum and they get into a rhythm. But this week's going to be an emphasis of understanding where our guys need to fit and retrace and having our guys who are rushing get back out so that we can get those plays stopped.
AJ Jacobson, Rivals.
Coach, I was asking Coach Cristobal about this guy, but I wanted to get your thoughts on him too. Trevin May, he got 16 quality snaps for you this last game, and he's been averaging 20 or so. Talk about what he's meant to this defense and how he's coming along.
Trevin's really done a nice job for us this year. He's a guy that coming into this year wasn't sure, what his role was going to be, and he's worked his tail off to be really, really physical at the point of attack for us to be able to balance between, odd and even fronts. You need a guy who's tough and physical, and he is. He's getting better as a pass rusher, but his real value is on first and second down, being able to, set great edges and play a 4-eye when we need him to, and just play really, really hard.
Matt Preem, 247 Sports.
Tim, just your thoughts on McMillan and Bynum at receiver and just that matchup in particular you guys are going to face.
Well, with what they do, they're going to try to get you in some one-on-one situations and take some shots. So we've got to do a great job of, diagnosing first, the situation that we're in, understanding the leverage of the coverage that allows us to play. And then when we get in those one-on-one situations, which there's going to be some, we've got to win our fair share. And both those guys have proven that they can get it done against one-on-one coverage. But I like how Mikhail's playing, and DJ, is been on balance really good. We just got to get him more consistent.
Jared Denny, scoop duck on 3.
Hey, Tim, it looked like Braden Swinson's snaps were down quite a bit. I'm curious if that's a product of just Mace being back, or and how do you go about kind of getting all those edge guys all the snaps they probably deserve now that everybody's mostly healthy?
Well, yeah, Braden was dinged up a little last week, so part of that was part of the plan. But he's obviously one of our best edge defenders, and we've got to get him in a little bit more. That first half, I think we only had like 26 or so snaps. So we had a plan for him, but we were seeing a little bit more 12 personnel than what we had seen from them before. So it just kind of, the way it played out, it wasn't planned not to play him that much, but we got him some more in the second half. And then, we got to keep him healthy.
James Crepea, the Oregonian.
It follows actually perfectly with that, Tim. We've obviously talked a lot about 12 and 22 a lot this season. So this was probably the first team to probably throw something at you that wasn't there, but Washington will, and it ties together with them, and McGrew and Otten, and you get to the third downs and the conversion rate on third, and not just 1 to 3, but even 4 to 6, how it all really ties together into this game when it's been a season-long kind of bugaboo. I'm sure you've been underscoring it for 2 solid months, but really with this kind of opponent and what you've got throughout November, how much of an emphasis is it this week?
Well, it's huge. It's everything that Coach Cristobal talks about. We have got to win the physical battles up front. And this is going to be a tremendous challenge because a big physical offensive line for Washington. It's big boy football this week. Our guys know it. I like the fact that our guys are getting healthier up front. And that's going to play a huge part because we're going to need more than just one deep against these guys. But it's a matter of playing with great fundamentals, great eyes, hands, and feet, striking blocks and getting off and getting the ball carrier, getting multiple people there, because Sean McGrew's been running, really tough between the tackles. He's always been a quick-footed guy who can get to the edge, but he's running really strong between the tackles, particularly in the Wildcat.
Alvaro.
Well, Coach, last week I asked you about Colorado's rushing offense. You praised Colorado's running back, Shake Brosard. You managed to contain him to only 40 total yards. How big of a role would you say that play in your victory, and how important was he on your defensive game plan?
Well, we knew we had to try to limit their running game. And in the first half, I thought we did a decent job. We let, I think, one run on him get out. But we just got to be more consistent. We didn't fit a couple runs the way we wanted to. They came out with a couple formations that we hadn't practiced, and they hadn't shown. We've got to do a better job of seeing that and adjusting to that quicker. We did it at halftime. But yeah, obviously when you stop a team like Colorado from running the ball the way they want to, it gives you a chance.
Eric.
It's not your first time coaching against Washington, Tim. I'm curious, what are some kind of things that stand out, not just specifically with this team, but just all Washington teams you faced, and what makes them such a tough team to slow down? Because it seems like they're always in these games, are always very, very competitive.
Well, I think it starts up front with them. They've traditionally recruited some really good big guys who are athletic and physical. They've had some running backs that can move the chains. I think they probably have arguably the best tight end in the conference, a guy who can do a great job blocking at the point of attack. But he can also stretch the field. He can run and catch the ball. He's a heck of a target and a comfort zone guy for the quarterback. So when you have those kind of pieces, and then, scheme wise, they're going to give you different shifts, motion, trade, try to get you communicating pre-snap, and hopefully you bust a gap, and they got guys that can exploit that. So every year it's been a little bit different, but that's kind of the formula for them. And then if you load it up too much, they've got some guys that can run on the outside, and they're going to take shots with them. So, traditional NFL offense, it's going to make you account for a number of different things.
Time for 2 more. AJ Jacobson, Rivals.
Coach, Popo Amave hasn't been getting a lot of statistics, but it seems like he gets a nice push and he moves the quarterback off his spot. Talk about what your evaluation of what you're getting out of Popo.
Yeah, Popo, particularly the last couple of weeks, I thought has been a lot more active. You're right. Unfortunately, he's not getting a lot of things that show up on the statistics, but he's played very, very clean, and he's been very, very physical in knocking guys back. And we need that from him. He and Brandon Dorless both the past couple of weeks have played well, and down the stretch, particularly against these teams that want to run the ball the way they do, we need him and Brandon to both play well.
Last question, James.
Statistically, it looks like a missed opportunity, Tim, by way of pass rush against Colorado because of what they had been allowing. But I realize with 12 and 22, it kind of nulligates that a little bit. How do you look at that and evaluate that, not just last week, but in general, in terms of going forward for – because it's not just about KT, but when they're 0-5 on 3rd and 9 plus, does that kind of just satisfy you in terms of you're affecting the quarterback and making him run a whole lot and throw the ball away compared to just getting a whole bunch of sacks?
Well, I mean, sacks are nice, particularly for someone like, KT, who's going to be on national lists, and deservedly so. But if you're making them throw the ball away on 3rd down because of the pressure, you're effectively getting what you want. So, there's the pride factor of it. And, as a coach, I want to get him all the accolades that he deserves. But at the end of the day, if they're punting, we're doing our job.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate your time.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, guys.